Hello, welcome back to the Wee Magic Podcast. My name is Leigh Milne, and today I'm going to be talking about why I won't attend the Blackpool Magic Convention. Now, as I said before, everything here is in my opinion only, based on my experiences or my beliefs. Please feel free to argue. Please feel free to disagree. Send me messages. Email me. Hit me on Facebook. Hit me on YouTube. And we'll talk about it. And we can talk about it. I'll read out your comments on the podcast, providing they're suitable for airwaves. Now, when I say I won't attend the Magic Convention in Blackpool, I don't mean ever. I probably will go back within the next few years. I missed it this year, and I won't be going back next year. The reason I missed it this year is because I had family business to attend to. Now, that trumps everything, doesn't it? Surely. I was gutted because, as a ventriloquist, I couldn't believe it when they said Terry Fater is coming to perform. I couldn't believe it when they said Steve Axtell is coming to give a lecture. There was another ventriloquist there, I'm sure, and yeah, gutted I missed it, but that's the way it goes, I guess. I won't be attending 2025 because the costs just rise and rise and rise. Now, some of what I say is probably going to sound like an attack on the new organisers, but that's not my intention at all. It just so happens that a couple of the things that I mentioned in this podcast have happened or have been experienced by me since the new organisers have taken over. And one of those things is the costing. The convention in 2022 suddenly jumped up in price, and everyone was a bit surprised, a bit shocked, but most people were accepting it had to happen sooner or later, which it did, I guess. And to be fair, I've spoken to, I think it was one of the Russells who organises the convention, and asked where that money went to, and they told me that it was on a new purpose-built theatre, a new entrance area, new registration area, which made sense. So I was happy to say, okay, I apologise, I'm wrong. I thought, I forgot all about that stuff. But then this year, the ticket prices have gone up a lot again. So it's making me think, is this going to happen every 2 or 3 years? Probably. Are the benefits to the ticket buyers, are they going to be as obvious or as in balance with the rise of the ticket prices? The reason given this year for 2025 tickets being so expensive 2026 tickets being so expensive is that it's a 4-day convention now. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It always was. But I think what they're doing now is actually having lectures and dealers and things like that on the Thursday. Whereas before it was always just the auction on the Thursday night with one certain magician sitting at the back bidding on everything, not letting anyone else buy anything so he can take it to his stall and sell it for twice the price. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But in that case, why not give us the option of having a 4-day or a 3-day convention? You can buy day tickets, but not for every day. A lot of people, including myself, could only go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's pushing it. I've got a wife, I've got stepkids, I've got a dog, I've got commitments, I've got gigs, I've got, a car. I've got petrol to buy or transport to buy, the transport, fine, it's the same price whether you go for 3 days or 4 days. But the hotel room, that's more expensive. The food you're buying, that's more expensive. It all adds up. And people who have never struggled for money in their life say, oh, well, what's a few more pounds? Well, it's a few more pounds to a big part of the population. It's also, I think, going to make hobbyists less willing to go because it's another day of work for them, or it's another day away from the family, or it's another day, far more expensive. But in my personal experience, the Blackpool Magic Convention has been fun, but I've spoken about negatives before, and some of these include you can be in a room with 1,000 magicians and feel completely alone. You always hear in podcasts or on magic YouTube channels or anything like that where people say, don't be alone, come and sit with us. If you see us, come and say hi, come and say hello. And 9 times out of 10, they mean that. Not always, but 9 times out of 10, they mean that. And then when you go and try and sit near them, they're either just leaving or they're too busy or you can't get close to them because there's a certain group of people around them. Usually they're actual mates. So you can feel a bit awkward going up and saying, "Oh, can I join in?" People say, "Yeah, come and join us." Then when you try to, I spoke to a very well-known creator at last year's convention. Friday night in the Ruskin, I saw him and I went up and said, "Oh, hi, I've spoken a few times on Facebook Messenger. It's nice to meet you, get a chance to say hello." And he said, "Oh, what's your name?" And I told him, and he said, "Oh, no way. Oh, I can't believe that thing you sent me, blah, blah, blah." Okay, I went away thinking, I didn't send him what he was talking about. Oh well, that was nice of him. Anyway, saw him the next day in the convention in the dealer's hall, and he went, "Oh, how you doing? Are you still working on that thing you sent me?" And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Your name is," and he said this name that sounds vaguely like mine. And I said, oh no, that's not me." And that was it. End of conversation. He was just like, "Oh, right. Well, see you later." And I was like, anyway. Once again, I'm getting off topic. I'm trying to keep the podcast more on a straight line this time. So let's get back on topic. I heard people say a complaint about the Magic Convention is that you get the heavy sell in the dealer's hall. When you go to a table, the dealer will try their best to sell you everything. They'll just be relentless trying to get money out of your pocket. To be honest, I've never found that too common. I found it once, only once. It was a guy who showed me this deck of cards. You split it and it turns into 2 little decks of cards. Now, there are about 20 effects that look like that, so don't take it personally if you think I'm talking about you. But I might be. He was relentless in trying to get me to buy this thing. I thanked him for letting me see it, but I wasn't really interested in buying it. It's not something I would use. Yeah, he kept going. Eventually I was like, right, as soon as someone else came up, I was like, nipped off, sneaked away, because, no, I'm not buying your thing, mate. Let it go. But like I said, that's not too common in the dealer's hall. Most dealers know they're going to get sales. They don't need you to be the one who buys something. Most of them are friendly, pleasant, professional, and happy to show you things, whether you're going to buy it or not. Something I did have a complaint with in Blackpool was the lack of relevance for myself, because there was always mentalism shows, there's card magic, stage show, parlour shows, things like that. There wasn't much for family performers or children's performers. Now, over the last few years, that is something I've noticed has got a lot better. The Kids Entertainers Contest is always good fun. A few years ago, it was replaced, but it was replaced by Mario the Maker Magician, his full show, and that was fantastic. And then Mario gave a lecture the following day. So family performers and kids performers are being catered to more than ever before. So that's something that I really appreciate. It's something that is really, judging by how many people go to these lectures and events, is something that's clearly welcomed by a lot of people. But I always find in Blackpool I get exhausted. I don't know if it's just walking around the hall, or I don't know if it's, I stay up late, but not crazy late. Maybe it's the sea air, maybe it's everything being so overwhelming, maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but I always feel absolutely exhausted during the convention. Maybe I'm getting old, that may be it. There's also a sense of been there, done that, and I know there are new lectures, new performers, new items to buy, or to see displayed every single year. But by the 2024 convention, I was kind of thinking, I don't feel like there's much going on that I haven't either seen before or, well, that I wanted to see, you know. 2024 was okay, the convention. I do feel like there are certain performers, former performers, families of performers who are cared to and looked after and given the spotlight more than other people in the magic community these last few years. I'm sorry, but that's, from my experience, that's what I've seen, that's how I feel. Also, twice I've had the VIP experience. I didn't pay VIP prices. Both times it was someone online selling the VIP ticket, they were unable to go. So I got them for the price of a regular ticket. You get a nice little bag, a little water bottle, a little souvenir coin, which is quite nice. You get little, you know, trinkets, which is fine. But other than that, I don't really see any benefit of the VIP tickets. Maybe it's get better this year, because when I did it twice, I didn't see the value. You can get front row seat at lectures, at the shows, if you turn up early. But then, surely you shouldn't have to turn up early and queue for ages if you're a VIP ticket. If you're VIP, surely you should have a reserved seat in the front row, or the front couple of rows even. Kind of makes the VIP experience pointless. I recently went to see Steve Cohen in New York, and we paid for, well, my wife, as a gift to me, paid extra money so that we could sit in a certain row, and so we could do a meet and greet after with Steve. Everyone was allowed into the room at the same time, and everyone knew you don't have a specific ticket. I mean, you don't have a specific seat, but you know that you're sitting in a certain row. So I wouldn't go and sit in the front row, because that's not what my ticket entitles me to. Even if the people who are booked in the front row don't turn up in 10 minutes after me, that doesn't mean I can just go and take their seat. They paid VIP experience, so they should have the VIP experience. Similarly, if someone is in the middle, if someone was in the second row and I hadn't got my seat there, I would be telling them to move, because I've paid for that. Does that make sense? If you got a VIP ticket and it means you can sit in the front couple of rows during lectures or shows, but only if you arrive half an hour early and stand still for half an hour waiting to get in, that makes me feel like less of a VIP. That makes me feel like everyone else is sitting, relaxing, having a pint of beer, chatting with some friends, or getting the last few bits in the dealer's hall, and then they can just wander in, sit where they want. And if there's a seat free in the front row, they can easily take it. They're allowed to go and sit in it, even though they just strolled in. I don't understand the VIP experience. It's just more cash for not much gains. But of course, as always, we'll talk about the positives. The Blackpool Magic Convention is a lot of fun. Despite being alone for a lot of it, I have made some good friends from the convention. People I'd never met before or even heard of before. Also people I knew online, and it was my first chance to speak to them in person. They became friends. And you come back with a bag of, let's call them goodies. They're not goodies, but tricks you'll never use. But I mean, it's, you know, that's what it is with that. You can go there and you can spend as much money or as little money as you want. Believe it or not, people think you have to spend all your money. You don't have to, but I have been guilty of spending far too much. That talking balloon thing from Gustavo Raleigh, I was so excited for that. I bought it, never used it. Blackpool in February, where the magic is hot but your toes are frozen solid. They say you can buy any trick at Blackpool, except the trick to surviving 3 days on seaside chips and hotel breakfast sausages.
I saw more vanishing acts in the dealer's hall than on stage, mainly my money and my dignity. I spent £200 on new tricks at Blackpool. Best investment ever. They're all gathering dust in my bottom drawer right now. You haven't lived until you've seen 300 grown adults fight over a pack of marked cards like it's the last loaf of bread. The real illusion at Blackpool is convincing yourself you'll only buy one thing. If you think magicians are secretive, try asking them where the cheapest coffee is at Blackpool. They'll vanish faster than a sponge bowl. They say Blackpool's got 4 seasons in a day. 5 if you count regret after your 5th trip to the dealer hall. Nothing says professional magician like freezing to death on Blackpool seafront holding a bag full of invisible thread and dreams. Oh, Blackpool's next week, mate. 3 days of non-stop magic. Are you coming? Blackpool in February? I'd rather saw my own wand in half. Come on, it's the biggest convention in the world. All the legends will be there. Yeah, and 3,000 sweaty magicians all breathing on each other while queuing for overpriced coffee. But the lectures, the dealer halls, the midnight shows. Mate, I went last year. I bought 5 tricks, 2 DVDs, a deck of invisible cards. The only thing invisible was my bank balance afterwards. You don't have to buy anything. It's about the experience. My experience was fighting an angry pensioner over the last front row seat at a lecture on invisible thread. That's spirit. It's tradition. Here's my tradition. Stay at home, pour a beer, watch Penn and Teller Fullas in my pyjamas. You're no fun. I bet you don't even own a flashing thumb tip. I've got 2. My actual thumbs, and they're staying right here.
Well, thanks once again for listening to the Wee Magic podcast. Let me know if you share my opinions. Let me know if you have differing opinions. Get involved in conversation. I look forward to conversation. Good. It's all good. Whether you agree with me or whether you don't, let me know. You can contact me or leave feedback at theweemagicpod@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook under The Wee Magic Podcast. Get in touch. My name's Leigh Milne. Thank you so much for listening again. We'll see you next time. And before I go, I should say there's been some feedback from episode 1. We'll talk about that in a future episode, but I'm appreciating it so far. Keep listening. Keep believing.